You do it all for them, the people you love. Feeding and clothing them, giving them all the TLC they need when they're not feeling that great. It's a real labor of love. But what about that one thing that holds it all together, their skin? As their all-round caregiver, do you put just as much thought into protecting this organ from the harsh elements? Did you know that South Africa has one of the highest rates of skin cancer globally because of our high ultraviolet levels? Experts recommend that you see a dermatologist at least once a year for a thorough skin examination. So I'm visiting the consulting rooms of leading Gauteng-based dermatologist, Dr. Polile Mpofu, to find out why skincare is so vital. My problem is my scalp. I suffer from dry, sometimes itchy scalp.
Any family history?
My mom has also suffered from dandruff, as we all tend to call it. It could be eczema, we're not sure.
Do you scratch a lot? Because I see broken hairs along the hairline.
Yes, I do.
Because of the itch?
Sometimes, absolutely.
Yeah, the inflammation itself can break the hair. It will depend on how the history is, of how it happens. That helps us to plan.
Okay. Thank you, Doc.
Yes. Let's go and discuss it further.
Okay. So, Dr. Mpofu, can you tell us why skincare is important?
It's very important in the sense that it portrays what's happening inside. It tells us what's going on. It tells us whether they're healthy, they're well hydrated, they have anemia, they have infections or not. It tells us whether they have been chronically ill, vitamin D production, temperature regulation. It does a lot.
What are the biggest skin problems you encounter with your patients?
Acne remains a very, very important condition. With 98% of people will have had acne at some stage of their lives. Infections, scalp conditions, dermatitis that include eczema, psoriasis, and pigmentary conditions. Those are common. Skin cancer in other races.
What are the biggest assumptions people make about skincare, especially with young children?
What worked for a child last year might not work for the child this year. The severity of the condition might be different. The condition might be different. So we find that people tend to use the same thing we gave them the previous time and find that the condition is not necessarily the same. People are not concentrating on sun protection for children. So they are really at risk of having skin conditions. They play contact games, they get infections that are transmissible. They're exposed to all that.
Are there skin problems unique to our continent because of our climate?
Our continent is known for the way the sun is not controlled because of the ozone layer being depleted. So we are very prone to conditions that the sun can cause, like early aging, pigmentation, diseases that are triggered by the sun. Those ones are common for our continent. But the other thing is because of the heat, we get lots of sweat. Yes. And sweat-induced conditions are also common for our continent.
What are your top 3 tips for caregivers in terms of taking care of a family's skin, especially going into the summer holidays?
Sun protection, which includes avoidance of the sun, which includes knowing that you can't avoid it completely, and sun protection for the whole family. Yeah. So protecting the skin from the sun, all the ages, all the time is very, very important. Dealing with conditions individually. We tend to discuss conditions, we tend to go to the internet and try to self-medicate. Lots of problems could have been treated on time had they been assessed properly or at the right time.
Sunburn can occur in just 15 minutes, and the damage caused is permanent and irreversible. So don't take any chances. Lather up on that sunscreen and cover up the summer because your skin health matters.